I never took an oath!
Catch him again and say the lines again.
Which lines?
All of them when you took it down him. Your father.
Tarsem, an extremely underrated director who is known for his dreamlike worlds and non-conventional story structure. He was born and raised in India and was at one point planning on going to Harvard for business but wanted to do film instead.
You're a lawyer, engineer, doctor, or asshole for parents, so it was just like that is the thing that we always wanted to be. We were told you had to be. And I remember a book that changed my life was I saw a book that said Guide to Film Schools in America, and it just changed my life. And I just went, my God, they teach this in school.
He originally worked within the commercial and music video industry, but got bored and decided to go into the film industry.
Tarsem Singh had his Hollywood debut in 1991 with the music video for R.E.M's Losing My Religion. Ever since, Tarsem has released 5 major motion pictures, ranging from a Silence of the Lambs-esque sci-fi horror film, a loose retelling of several Greek myths shot on one set, and a reconstruction of the classic story of Snow White. Tarsem's catalogs of films can be seen contrasting at first, but when analyzed, can be strung together by 3 main story threads present in all of his films. Using structure, color, and symbolism, Tarsem gives depth to his often subtext-layered stories. As a student of film, Tarsem wears his inspiration on his sleeves. This can be seen through several callbacks to other movies in his films. Inspiration on his style of storytelling include Tarkovsky, Jodorowsky, Lynch, and Parajanov. All these directors utilize surrealism to create the structure of their story. In his body of work, Tarsem uses dream worlds to emphasize parts of the human psyche that would normally be too hard to discuss. This allows him to be surreal while still being grounded in reality, a problem mostly associated with his predecessors.
The use of 2 distinct worlds requires hours of planning beforehand in storyboards, actors, and lighting. In order to get the story structure and tone, he would often do extensive research on locations. Either this being the Falls, 25 plus countries, or Immortals' mostly set-based story, the stories often enter the said dream realm, allowing Tarsem to do pretty much anything and get away with it. This leads to his stories feeling unpredictable. Tarsem loves to be surreal, but finds it important to establish a real-world connection. Still, unlike other directors who say a lot, his films aren't 3 hours plus. To achieve this, he gives meaning to other carefully planned aspects.
Tarsem is obsessed with color. Of course, none of this would be possible without his co-designer, Iko.
Actor designer should have a good 50-50 relation to collaborate together.
His color palette in the dream realm is often contrasted with dull or drab normal worlds, making the dream colors stand out and pop even more. Tarsem also often puts contradictory colors next to each other to make them stand out. His reliance on color theory allows him to move quickly throughout the story and to apply powerful leitmotifs throughout. Pink often means innocence and purity. The Cell follows the story of Christine as she enters the mind of a paralyzed serial killer to find the location of one of his soon-to-be victims. In this process, she is thrown into a world of dark colors, with a young interpretation of the serial killer showing his mental scar. We rarely see pink in The Cell, only on the young serial killer's t-shirt, who is a symbol of being naive and being a victim. Once he is taken to a place of purity, the mind of Christine, everything changes to that same shade of pink. The feelings of overwhelming rage and anger are also present in his stories. In order to convey the weight of these emotions, scenes are dripping with the color red. In his sophomore film, The Fall, the character of Roy is upset at where he ended up. When he imagines himself in the fantasy world of the film, Roy wears a red mask, showing he is blinded by anger.
I will search the 4 corners of this earth, find Governor Odious, and joyously kill him.
There is subversion to these rules, however. For example, in some Asian cultures, the color orange represents good luck and joy. This is where it takes its place in The Fall, constantly being shown with Alexandria to show her happiness. Contrary to this, it can be associated with the fall of man, replacing the apple in some biblical-like stories.
Tarsem calls back to the biblical story by physically placing oranges in the story. Within Tarsem's movies, he uses loads of symbolism to tell his story within his dream worlds. In the movie The Cell, there is a scene within Carl's mind of him cleaning the body of his first victim. The scene is extremely realistic, but reminds you that it's still a dream with his bright orange glove that he wears on one hand. In this case, and in general, and symbolizes danger is near. Another form of symbolism is shown when they are in the mind of Carl. One of the symbolic moments is when Catherine sees Carl's young self. This symbolizes that innocence is still within his mind, giving Catherine the motive to continue to try and save him. Many scenes in The Cell show symbolization of artwork within Carl's mind. This includes the painting Shocked to the Sixth by H.R. Geiger, Some Comfort Gained from the Acceptance of the Inherent Lies in Everything by Damien Hirst, and the painting Dawn by Odd Nerdrum. Not only do the triplets represent the painting Dawn, but it also represents Starger's mother. Fall has its dream world be the story that Roy tells Alexandria. Within the story, many characters are all in the real world of Alexandria and Roy. Many of the characters in the story wear masks, such as the character Roy. The mask he wears is used to hide his heartache and sadness, and is supposed to be a barrier between him and Alexandria while still trying to have her get him morphine.
That story was just a trick to get you to do something.
Roy is not the only one, however, who wears a mask. The fan mask in the Lotus dress is hiding her identity as Odious' fiancé.
Tone is one of the hardest elements to capture in a film. Some artists spend their entire careers trying to find their style. With enough dedication and research, an artist can become masterful with their tone and feel. Tarsem uses these three techniques to create a unique feeling in his films. If a director is able to understand their strengths, they can really create an amazing piece of art.
I just love the process of filming, just on how two particular images will come together. Then I really don't care if you're selling air, an ideology, or anything.